Yo, what's up, my lovely boys? Back here in another video. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Today we are doing a showcase on my Master Duel deck, and my Master Duel deck being live tuned Yummy Fiendsmith Mitsurugi that I recently made. And I think this is honestly one of the coolest decks I've ever made. So yeah, oof, that was a mouthful by the way. But yeah, I really want to showcase to you guys this because I think this is probably one of the more funner decks I've came up with live twin, especially in the Mass Duel format. And I think you guys might find it interesting. So that's why I'm showcasing it to you guys today. And yeah, so before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. So if you already, please consider doing so. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's hop right into it. Also, by the way, if I sound congested, I'm sorry. Kind of sick at the moment. But yeah, not only am I going to be showcasing you guys the deck list, and just basically explain to you guys what the deck is supposed to do card by card. I'll should be showcasing you guys a combo, just one combo on how the deck sort of like does a one card combo and bridges into all engines, if that makes sense, right? So yeah. So for the starters, you have three Lighten Kisco, two Frost, and three Sunny Snitch. Uh, I mean, you could probably run third Frost because now that Habikiri is going to twos very soon in the Master Duel format, you can probably put in the third Frost. But of course, in this list, this was before the second Habikiri. But yeah, you could do that. You also have one Lila and one Sweet, of course, as mandatory. And yeah, so then next after that for the yummy cards, you have two marshmallow, three cupsy. You also have one lollipo and then one cookie. Of course, with the yummy surprise and then yummy McNugget. This is the bare minimum. This engine really helps you play around things like full loss, which I think is really nice. And of course, for other starters to get to your yummy package, you also have three engage with the one Hornet drones, if I can find it right here. Yeah. So you also have them Hornet drones plus the three engage and then plus all these yummy starters. If you need to play around full loss, it does pretty well doing so. The only unfortunate part is that engage doesn't really play through full loss as well as just like one yummy name, right? So yeah. We also have for the Fiendsmith package, we have one Lacrima, two Engraver, and two Sanct. This is just basically just to help you play around like things like K9 Azuna, uh, Draco Telfine Mana, and play around Nib as well, and things like that. And then for the Mitsurugi package, you're playing two Habakiri now, not three. I mean, take that off for now. You're playing two Habakiri, three prayers, and then three pre-prep. And then with the also you have the one Murakumo, one Ritual, one Saji, one Mirror. You're not playing Zombie Vampire in this list, so you could probably take out the Mirror if I'm being completely honest. It's just basically up to personal preference. I mean, of course, it's a brick, so you could probably get away with like not running it. But if you need two level 8s on board and for the OTK, you can use it, right? I took that out by accident. Okay. Anyways, then after that, you have three Lightning Storm, three Droplet, three Chalice. This deck also, by the way, if you can notice already, I'm playing a board breaker approach because of the fact that you can't consistently draw into hand traps or a lot of hand traps. You kind of need to run a board breaker approach in this deck, especially since it's a 60 card deck. And then yeah, so then you have one Harpy's Feather Duster, three Thrust, three Talents, and then one Call by the Grave. And then after that, if you happen to open a hand that you can't really play around Fua, or if you want to add on to the board that you make, you could go Thrust into D Barrier, which apparently D Barrier is legal in Master Duel, which is absolutely diabolical. So yeah, we could also go Thrust for D Barrier if you really wanted to. And yeah, next after that, for the extra deck, you have this extra deck you cannot change whatsoever. This extra deck is extremely tight, and in the one card combo, you end up using pretty much this entire extra deck. You have one Snatchy, one of each of the Yummy Synchros, and then you have Herald, because Herald is still legal. You have one Camellia, one Kagari. This helps you bridge from Live Twin to Yummy. You have one Requiem, one Caesar. You also have the deck equip as well, so you're playing a very small Fiendsmith package, which you can then argue that to maybe take out like a Sanct or like at least cut it down to like this here. But I've chose to run this much of the Fiendsmith package for now. And then after that, you also have one Deal, one Lila, one Kisco, one Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf is insane in this deck, and pretty much in like any Latun because of the fact that Sprite Elf is legal. You could make things like Live Twin Sprite viable now in Master Duel, which is absolutely insane. I do want to do a video covering that, but I just have to get you guys to put in my code, which I haven't posted that yet, so I gotta do that soon. But yeah, that is the whole deck list here. I mean, the last two slots can be pretty much anything. If you want to run the mirror, you can run the mirror, just easier for OTKs. And of course, you could change Habakiri for anything else. So if you want to play Third Frost, you can. All right, so now we are done with the deck list. Let's go on to the combo. So just a side note, I completely forgot, but you can also bridge Yummy into Live Tune. So if you want to customize the deck and play like a different version of the deck, what you can do is play something like Starham. It doesn't really matter. You can play any of the level 3s. You can play like Starham or the Metal Marcher. It really doesn't matter, but you can use Starham to like summon back like a Cupsy, and then you use those two to go into Ib, okay? Let's see if I can find Ib here. Ib is the Synchro 5. It's basically one of the World Legacy cards. And then that one basically, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, right here. The World Justice Justicar. And this adds any World Legacy card from your deck to your hand, right? So you could go ahead and go grab World Legacy, um, World Legacy Succession, I believe it is called. Let's see if I can find it here. Yes, perfect. World Legacy Succession. So basically, it's a monster reborn to a zone of Link monster points to. So what you could do is you could probably go into something like Sprint. Send a key skill from your deck to grave, probably key skill Frost in this case, and then use these like the sort of like Ib line in order to summon back to the key skill Frost, and then you could probably go full live tune combo from there, right? But you just gotta be careful because of course the Yummy Snatchy locks you into Link 3 or locks you out of Link 3 or higher just because of the fact that if you use the effective place the Mignon for the one card Yummy combo, you won't be able to bridge into that. So that's why I chose not to run that bridge. Plus, we don't have the extra deck space for it. So I rather just play the Live Tune into Yummy bridge rather than the Yummy into Live Tune bridge. But yeah, that's why I really wanted to note for you guys, just let you guys know that that is possible. And yeah, let's go on to the combo. Alrighty, welcome to the combo portion of today's video. Today's video, we are showcasing a one-card key skill combo that bridges throughout the entire deck for all the different engines in the deck, which is absolutely insane. So, yeah, let's hop right into it. So we're gonna normal summon key skill, activate the effect, summon out the Lila. We're then going to go ahead and link into deal. Deal effect is then going to send us sweet. We're not gonna use sweet effect right now. We're actually gonna go into Requiem here. We're gonna go Requiem, go to summon back Lacrima, send the Engraver, okay? Next, we're gonna use these two monsters into Camellia, because Camellia requires only 2 effect monsters, so pretty much any that can bridge into Yummy this way, but you can send a Sky Striker's a card from deck to grave. You can send drones here, but I chose to send Engage, just because of the fact that it plays around, and it doesn't play around anything, actually. It just helps you, what's it called, thin out your deck a little bit more, so you can get a little bit better draws, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, you could go ahead and go to Kagari, grab engage, and then go ahead and go engage, grab Hornet drones. You're gonna go grab Hornet drones, summon a token, then you're gonna go into Cupsy Yummy Way. Cupsy Yummy Way is gonna grab Marshmallow and Cupsy. We're then going to discard the Marshmallow. We're gonna special to Cupsy, go into Cupsy, grab Surprise. We're gonna go into Snatchy. We don't use the Snatchy effect here because if you use the Snatchy effect here, it's gonna lock you out of Link 3 or higher. So that locks you out of a Baoku. We're then going to go Surprise, summon back the Marshmallow. Marshmallow is going to grab back the Surprise. We're then going to link into synchro into Lollipo. Lollipo is then going to summon back the two level 1s. We're then going to synchro all those into Herald. Okay. Next we can go into Sprite Elf because we have at least one level 2 being the Cupsy. And next we can trigger a Herald that will go ahead and grab us a Hapakiri. We could then go Habakiri. Habakiri is going to summon back Saji, tribute to Saji. Then go ahead and use Saji effect to grab the ritual. We don't go for the full Mitsurugi package. I mean, full Mitsurugi combo, just so you know. We really just want to set up a Kumo here. So we're just going to go ahead and summon out the Kumo from the deck, tributing the Habakiri. I mean, Habakiri effect is then going to grab prayers. Then you could go Sprite Elf, summon back the key skill. And next after that, you could trigger the Lila engrave in order to summon itself out. So now you could go ahead and link these two into Kisco. Kisco summon back to Lila. Link into Lila. Lila summon back Kisco. Kisco is then going to draw. We're then going to draw into any random card. It doesn't matter because we're going to discard it anyways. We're going to use it to discard the talents in this case. We're going to summon back the Engraver. We're going to use the Requiem to equip to the Engraver. We're then going to go ahead and go into a Necroquip. And then use the Engraver effect to summon itself out. And then we're going to go finally into a Caesar. Okay? And then after you set the two cards in here, which are the Surprise and Prayers, and then you pass turn here. This is your end board, by the way. I forgot to bring a Baoku, by the way. So this is, you have a Baoku, the Morokumo, the Sprite Elf, the Caesar, the Prayers, and the Surprise all in this board right now. But I'm going to bring it back in a bit, but I just forgot it here. So in draw phase, you could go Surprise if you wanted to. You could do it in your opponent's first action too if you wanted to. But I personally would do it in draw phase. You can summon back the Cupsy. Okay? And next after that, of course, you have 4 other cards in hand. This was a 1-card combo, by the way. So next after that, you'll be able to go ahead and go Cupsy, summon back the Snatchy and the Marshmallow. Marshmallow can grab back the Surprise for follow-up. We then can go into Snatchy, pay 100 in order to synchro. Cookie will be your first interruption. The first interruption being that you could book 2 monsters your opponent controls face down, which is absolutely very, very powerful in the deck. You also have a Baoku that it could discard a card in order to banish yourself to summon back the Herald. So if you're going against Draco Tail, this is like a god card against them because literally once you set this up, it's game over for them pretty much. Because any card from the hand or main deck to grave is banished instead. So once you set this up, plus like a Caesar or something, your opponent can't do anything, right? I think you have also the Herald negate if it's like literally any other matchup. You have the Morokumo discard. You also have the prayers that can go ahead and tribute in order to add them Habakiri. But you mainly just doing that for the tributes. That way you could go ahead and use the Morokumo effect to summon itself. So we're gonna go ahead and grab off the Habakiri off of prayers, and we're gonna grab prayers off the Morokumo again, giving us that extra follow up, and we call it to break our opponent's board on our turn if we needed to. Now this is really only if you really need to. But you can use Sprite Elf to summon back the Kisco here, which we're about to do here, uh, on our opponent's turn, so that way Kisco can pop a card on board. The only problem with that is not only it locks you into Fiends, but it will also prevent you from being able to use your Cookie to bounce yourself back to extra deck and summon back to Yummies from grave. So this will prevent you like your whole Yummy cycle setup or whatever you want to call it. But if you really need that extra interruption, you can. You can also, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to use Sprite L, summon back the Kisco, summon back Lila. And then, of course, you have the 2 negates off of Caesar. I'm going to be honest here. I don't know how many interruptions that is, but that is a crap ton. Okay? Also, by the way, if you do that line here where you go summon back the Kisco to pop with the Lila on board, you won't be able to get a Baoku back if your opponent doesn't remove any monsters on board here. Which is kind of unfortunate. But look, we have prayers, we have surprise. You literally have 4 other cards in hand, and plus Habakiri too, because Habakiri is just here just to be here. You know what I'm saying? Uh, there's no way your opponent can play through this board if they let this resolve. Like, there's no way. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I really wanted to show you guys this. I thought this was pretty cool that you could do this in Master Duel. Especially in like a scenario where you're playing a best of 1 game. This deck might actually be one of the better ways to play Latun. And I encourage you guys to probably not spend your gems on it just yet because it is a very expensive UR deck. So I recommend you at least try it in something like Dueling Book like I am here right now before you actually start crafting it. But honestly, it's a pretty fun deck. And if I did have the choice to, I would build it for myself on Master Duel if I, had enough URs and then actually play it for you and show you guys some content on that. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.